water, wastewater, electric. We do pretty much everything here in the city of Hillsborough. When we talk about utility, we always want to talk about the likelihood, the probability that something's going to fail, and the consequences of that failure. And so we start doing planning and risk assessment. We take a look at, what are our most critical assets first? What's the status of those assets? What's the age? What's the condition? We go from there and then say, all right, well, if this was to fail, what are we gonna do? What's the game plan? What are the consequences of us not doing something? And then what's the cost weighed out against that? And you have to kind of make decisions based on that, because there's just not enough money to go around to fix everything. So we prioritize what's the most critical pieces there, and then we talk about, how do we go about fixing them?
For us, one of the main factors is always making sure that we're good stewards of our budget and to make sure that our citizens don't have unnecessarily high utility bills. We take all of those repair decisions, the end of life decisions, all of those things very seriously, and we weigh the costs. We talk about that a lot when we're giving presentations to the council and the mayor, so that our citizens understand that we're trying to do the best thing for them.
The public is our customer, and so we think about public health, public safety, and then there's of course regulatory things too. We could get fined, we could get shut down ultimately, or our license could get pulled if we don't meet those safety requirements that are put on us. So every year we go through and do a capital improvement plan. We long-range plan those things out so that we have all of our assets on it. Sometimes we find that there are things that we just didn't think about. Like, for a good example, we had a controller cabinet for one of our water pump systems. It had gotten so degraded because of chlorine that we had to come up with something different.
The big controller mechanism for those filters sits above the filters on a grate, so the chlorine always comes up into the control box, and the control box is full of wires and contactors and all sorts of computer parts. 10 years or so after the upgrades were done, we were experiencing a lot of control problems due to the corrosion with the moisture and the chlorine. And we went back to the manufacturer, and they weren't interested in helping us solve that problem. And so we started talking about how can we build one of these things? I think we can build one of these things. We designed it and executed the plan. It took several months to do the build out of it, and it turned out extraordinary. We love it.
The probability of failure is the likelihood that an asset will fail. It is often determined by the age of the asset, the condition, the rate of repairs, and other factors. Consequences of failure is a bit more subjective. During asset evaluation, ask your team, what would happen if the asset fails? Will it lead to regulatory violations? Would it lead to an environmental or public health problem? Would it cause over half our community's population to lose their services? Would it lead to a major customer, a hospital, or a business to lose their services? By plotting your assets on a chart, in a spreadsheet, or a prioritized list, your utility and decision makers can focus on assets that need the most attention.
Criticality is determining which assets in your system are the most important and need the most attention, and which ones need less attention and can run to failure. Time and money are limited. By conducting a criticality analysis on the assets in your system, you can determine which assets need more maintenance, attention, and money. Reduce your emergency situations by creating a team to review and give each asset a criticality rating.